Okay, so if you go and search best eSIM right now, you're gonna get 100 different answers, most of them from people who've tested maybe 3 or 4 providers and called it a day. So I decided to go and test 18, looking at price, coverage, installation, and support. And what I found is that there's no single best eSIM. The right one completely depends on how you travel. So in this video, I've put together 4 traveler profiles, and by the end, you'll know exactly which provider fits yours. First up, we have the typical traveler. Now, this is someone who goes away once or twice a year, doesn't need much data, and just wants something that works without overthinking. And before we get into the numbers, 2 things worth knowing. A lot of these providers run limited time offers, so prices can shift. And because they all bundle their packages differently, I've gone and averaged the cost per gigabyte across 5 popular destinations: UK, US, Japan, Italy, and Spain. So you're actually comparing like for like. And on pure price, I found Maya Mobile to be the cheapest at £1.08 per gigabyte. Their best plan for this type of travel is a 5-day option, which you can find linked in the description box. They haven't sponsored this video, but that is an affiliate link, so by using it, you'll be supporting myself and the channel. But the price isn't the whole story for this type of traveler. I think if you go away just once or twice a year, then you probably don't want to have to faff around with installation, and ease of setup might matter to you just as much as cost. And that's why I really like Saily. Their app walks you through the installation step by step. It's automatic and easy, and each eSIM includes a virtual location feature, which kind of works like a VPN, an ad blocker, and something called web protection. Basically, these features are free, they're included, and they're designed to help you stay secure and maintain your privacy while you roam. And if anything does go wrong, Saily's in-app support came back to me in just over 2 minutes. And look, they're not the most cheapest or affordable, but they do have some really interesting features which I think are worth shouting out. And I do have a coupon for 15% off. That's just T-money. Similar to the typical traveler, the data binger is only going away once or twice a year, except their appetite for data is a lot bigger. We're talking up to 10 gigabytes a week, so longer browsing or streaming sessions, and most importantly, not having to think twice about how much data you're using. So I've used the same methodology as before and averaged the cost per 10 gigabyte across these 5 popular destinations. And on pure pricing, Red T Go comes out the cheapest at an incredible £7.77 per 10 gigabytes. But here's the thing, back in 2024, when I tested their support, they did not respond, and this time they didn't respond again. So they might be the cheapest, but if you're someone relying on a connection to stream and browse, there's a real risk you might not be able to get help if something goes wrong, which is why I'd actually like to point this type of traveler towards Maya Mobile. Yes, they're slightly more expensive, but their support did come back to me in just over 5 minutes, so I think that's probably a safer place to go. And for Roamless, they're not the cheapest option on this table, but I did want to mention them, and for an entirely different reason. Basically, they offer both fixed plans and pay-as-you-go, which is quite unique and ideal if you're not sure exactly how much data you'll use. So you can basically top up as you go, and any data you don't use doesn't expire. I actually recommended them recently to my in-laws for that reason, because you don't have to worry about data expiring, but also with the pay-as-you-go system, you don't have to search for your destination. You just top up, turn the eSIM on, and it automatically activates when you enter a new country, and it just works. They also offer multi-network connectivity, so in the UK, for example, Roamless can switch between Vodafone, O2, and 3 depending on signal. And I think for a data binger, that level of reliability could be really important. They also offer 500 megabytes of free data, so you can try them out. And again, I've linked Roamless in the description box. A Jetsetter is someone who's traveling a lot, and they require an unlimited amount of data for things like video conferencing, accessing large files online, and possibly need to use multiple devices. And naturally, this person will need to pay more money for the peace of mind that they don't hit any kind of data limits. On price, Mobi Matter comes out on top at £15.45 for a week of unlimited data. They also support hotspotting, which is exactly what this type of traveler will need, and you can configure your own data package on their website, which I think is a nice touch. One drawback, on support, I was only able to contact them by submitting a ticket, and it did take a few hours to hear back. Jetpack is the other strong pick here. So on price, they're very competitive, but what makes them stand out are the features they include with each eSIM. First, you get smart delay. So you just register your flight in-app before you travel, and if it's delayed, they'll issue you a lounge pass via lounge key covering you and a companion. Now, I've not seen any other eSIM provider offering this, and for a Jetsetter who's regularly at airports, I think that's genuinely a nice safety net. Secondly, if you run out of data on a plan of 3 gigabytes or above, WhatsApp, Google Maps, Uber, Grab still work. And I tested this myself. I ran one of their eSIMs down to 0 and those apps kept going. And again, for someone who's constantly traveling and can't afford to lose navigation or messaging, that is another fantastic safety net. So if Jetpack sounds interesting to you, I've put a link in the description box below, again with a coupon for 15% off. Last up, we have the data nomad. This is someone who is abroad most of the year and requires an unlimited amount of data for web browsing, social media, streaming, and needs this across multiple devices. So if cost is the priority, this type of traveler will also want to consider Mobile because their 30-day unlimited plan covering Europe is well ahead of any other provider. But please remember, when it comes to unlimited data plans, you are not guaranteed unlimited speeds and you may be throttled depending on your usage. And Maya does limit your daily high-speed internet by 3 or 5 gigabytes depending on which package you go with, while Saley has a fair usage cap of 5 gigabytes and SimLocal offers a massive 10 gigabytes of high-speed data per day. It's actually quite difficult to establish these caps or limits with most providers because providers just aren't very transparent, or truthfully, they don't really know how much they can guarantee in high-speed data, but these three do have it on their website. And I've tested SimLocal. Over 14 days, I was actually getting 20 gigabytes a day without hitting any throttling, which is really impressive. And that's why I typically recommend SimLocal as one of the best providers for unlimited data. Another strong option for the data nomad is Google Fi. I couldn't get a discount code for them, they wouldn't play ball, but their 30-day unlimited plan is excellent value and worth checking out. And on support, they've been the fastest in my testing. Although I must say, a lot of the providers that responded did really well, and in fact, many of them have improved since I last ran these tests. Airalo, in particular deserves credit. I think they took nearly 20 minutes last time, but this year, they're a lot faster. So if you're a typical traveler, I found Mobile to be the best value on price, and Saley's great if setup and support are important, and if you're interested in their security features. If you're a data binger, RedTgo is very impressive on price, but lacking support. And if you want flexibility, Roamless and their pay-as-you-go option is worth checking out. Jetsetters should consider Matter for price, and Jetpack if you're interested in lounge access when your flight is delayed. For data nomads, Mobile wins on monthly cost, which is a recurring theme in my research, and SimLocal is great for that 10 gigabytes of daily unlimited high-speed data. Affiliate links and discount codes are in the description. Please consider using them if you'd like to support myself and the channel. And if this video saves you some time or some money, do give it a thumbs up because this genuinely helps get it in front of more people. And if you want to see exactly how to install and activate an eSIM on an iPhone, then check out this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.